I'm Travis Frame, and this is Frame by Frame, and today I'll be reviewing Dunkirk. So, Dunkirk is the new Christopher Nolan movie based off of true events. And it is about the events at Dunkirk where 400,000 Allied soldiers were stranded on a beach. This takes place prior to US involvement in the war, and the forces were surrounded, and it tells the very interesting true story of the events that occur. Christopher Nolan has done it again. He has made yet another fantastic movie. This may be one of my favorite movies of the year. Christopher Nolan, as you may know from my top 10 most anticipated movies of the year, is my personal favorite director. And this was my #1 most anticipated movie of the year because of that. Every movie I've watched that Christopher Nolan has directed and written, I've loved. He is a master filmmaker. And the way he tells stories is very different from a lot of other directors, and I love his filmmaking style. And so I was very, very excited for this movie, and it did not disappoint me. So I was very excited for this because most of Christopher Nolan's other movies are fiction, and because of that he's been able to take a lot of weird turns with them, so I was very interested to see how he would tackle an event that actually happened. And he does it in such an interesting and unique way that really fit not only the event, but the story and atmosphere that Nolan was trying to create with this movie. He directs this movie phenomenally. The tension in every single scene is brutal. It is so intense. And it's PG-13. It didn't even need an R rating to be an effective war movie, which is one of the most impressive things that I've ever seen. Most war movies that are effective and are good have been rated R because they don't shy away from the brutality and bloody and goriness of war. This movie is a little bit violent, but it doesn't need that extra layer of violence to be effective because of how well Nolan makes this movie. Along with Christopher Nolan's Oscar-worthy directing is amazing cinematography. This movie is beautiful to look at. So well filmed in every single scene. Every single frame is amazing. This movie also has one of Hans Zimmer's best scores in my opinion, and it really adds to the tension and the atmosphere that Nolan creates with his directing to create an even more intense experience. Another thing that I loved about this movie was the sound. Oh my gosh, the sound. The bullets that fly past characters and the planes soaring overhead make the movie feel so real when you're watching it. The realism in this movie is very well done, as Christopher Nolan loves practical effects. And it really shows because the movie feels real when you watch it. And it really adds the tension. I keep bringing up the tension because it's done so well. This movie is amazing. It's one of the best war movies ever made in my opinion. This movie is about the event. It's not about the characters. If you're watching a movie for character development, interesting, fun characters, might not be the movie for you. This is an intense movie about an event during a war, and it does that very well. But all the performances are still very good, given the focus on the event instead of the characters. Watch this movie. Just watch it. If you've liked any Christopher Nolan movie in the past, watch this movie. If you've liked any war movie in the past, watch this movie. Even if you're just a fan of film, watch this movie. I saw it in 70mm, and it was an amazing experience. Definitely check out Dunkirk, one of the best movies of the year.